what was your key to success in landing those six figures while you were getting your CPC? Oh my gosh. Oh, the keys to the success. I would say that the main thing, the prerequisite to it all was I had to decide that I wasn't going to settle for failure. And I know that sounds hokey and I know that that sounds goofy. I get it. It's cliche. Sure. I'm just telling you that it literally was. I had to decide that failure was not an option. And so for me, I had been kind of puttering at starting my business for months and months. And I was like in this putter. And I knew that my goal was to replace a multi six figure consulting career that was a corporate career. And I was used to getting paid like $6,000 every 2 weeks. Sweet deal, right? It was a good deal. Plus bonuses and like benefits and all of this kind of stuff. So I had like a chunk of change that I was wanting to replace. And I kept dabbling at the business. I kept kind of not playing at business, but I was definitely dabbling and I was trying to find hacks. What really made the difference is when I decided that I was going to turn pro and that it was going to happen. I was going to be one of those people who left their corporate job that made, six figures in coaching a year. And my first goal was to make $100,000. And originally it was going to be in a year. And then the decision became more solid. And I was like, no, it's going to be $100,000 by the end of this calendar year. And I made that decision around this time of year. So it was like August or something like that. And so when I had the resolve that I was going to do this, and I was like really, really clear I was going to do this, then my whole worldview changed. And instead of like hoping to find maybe something, that's what a dabbler does, is they're hoping to find maybe something. I was like, whoop, what do I not know that is keeping me from this goal? Who do I need to talk to who's going to help me with this goal? And I started like being much more like laser focused on the goal and therefore the solutions that actually solve the goal. The problem with dabbling is we're getting solutions day and night. The problem is they're like keys to the lock that we don't have, It's like, you know what I mean? Like you're getting all these keys that can unlock stuff, but it doesn't match the padlock that you actually need the key for. So it doesn't matter. You're just getting a bunch of noise, right? So when I turned pro, I was able to say, none of those keys matter to me. Here's my lock. What key unlocks this lock, right? And I got that clear about it. And I know it's so cliche in some regards, but I hope this is making sense. So what happened next was I chose to engage with coaches that I believed were going to get me there. And I chose to hire coaches and consultants and enroll in courses that were specifically addressing the problems that I had to get real with myself I was having. I had to get real that I had no friggin' clue how to sell. I did not know. So I needed to find a coach who could teach me how to sell. I knew that I had no friggin' clue how to package my coaching and all of that. So I had to find a coach that would help me with all my packaging. And so I did. I ended up hiring another coach, and oh my word, like if you knew how much money I paid before I finally got committed, at that point, every relationship I had even since then has been an investment. So even if I buy like a $50 program, it's always a conscious investment about how it's solving a particular problem. I want to unlock this lock. I don't care about all those other locks. I don't care about all these other keys. I hope this made a lot of sense. Yeah, so good. So what happened was I hired the coach, and literally within 48 hours, I closed my first big client. And results not typical, not promising you a result. Okay, I'm not in income claims. I'm saying for me, when I got clear that if I had a $30,000 coaching package, I would hit my goal a lot faster. And my coach showed me how to do a package that was valued at that level. And then what I did is that freaked me out, by the way. That was like such a freak out moment. But then I remember I was at an event at the time. I went up to my hotel room and I had a bath and I just decompressed and I was just like trying to relax. And I got this download while I was in the bathtub of what I would pay $30,000 to fix in my life. And now I call it the problem of appropriate magnitude. If you're having a conversation with somebody that is tuned into what they would probably spend $300,000 to fix because it's that big of a problem, they will pay you 30, right? So I just got really, really clear about that problem of appropriate magnitude. Have conversations about the problem of appropriate magnitude when you're having coaching calls. And then I just gave myself permission to suck, right? I had lots of consults. I had lots of conversations. I let myself kind of suck, not because I was trying to suck. Obviously you're trying to do your best, but I just let it be what it was so that I could have the conversations. Would you not believe it? Within 48 hours, I closed my very first high ticket client. Isn't that amazing? I was just like, but it all started with deciding to go pro. I had to decide that I was going to go pro. I wasn't going to be a dabbler. I was going to get this noise figured out. So I hope that made a lot of sense. Hey, Amanda here. Be sure to tune in for our next Crush Method show by following us on www.amandakaufman.net/blog, or you can look up the Crush Method at the YouTubes, at the Facebooks, at the Instagram, and even on Twitter. We'll see you next time.